Along with the rest of the Palace team, his confidence is high after an important victory last Saturday against Kevin Keegan's Newcastle. Reid reports.
45 minutes we've produced since I came here is how Alan Mullery described Palace's first-half performance. Here's the start of the onslaught. Vince Hilaire finally gets a cross in. There's a scramble, and it's Andy McCulloch putting Palace in front in the 15th minute. And Hilaire gets the congratulations for the setup. 15 minutes later, it was 2-0. The Newcastle defence stretched, and John Anderson put through his own net, although Palace's Kevin Mabbott claims it was he who got the final touch. On the stroke of half-time, 3-0. David Giles, the corner, a great header there from Billy Gilbert. With Kevin Keegan strangely ineffective, it was 20 minutes from time before Newcastle pulled one back through Peter Beardsley. Fine goal from Beardsley, but it wasn't enough to detract from a Palace performance that put their fans in an optimistic mood for the cup tie with West Ham. No one will be looking forward to the game more keenly than Vince Hilaire, who very nearly joined the Hammers as a schoolboy. His 10 years at Palace have been a mixture of brilliance and frustration. As a teenager, he was hailed as the best black player in the country. But before an encouraging run of success this year, he appeared to have lost his way for a couple of seasons. Were they wasted?
I wouldn't say he's wasted. I think probably people have wasted Vince by not saying that, Vince, this is what you do well, get on and do it. And they've just given him a free roll in all this period of time that he's been playing, and nobody's ever channeled it in the right way.
It wouldn't be a case then of a boy of 17 who was a big star then, going to his head a little bit?
Oh, no, he's not that type of lad, no. I mean, he's like to take him home with you and sit him in the living room, you know, because he's such a nice kid. I don't think he'd ever be big-headed, no. He's got a lovely suntan, but he wouldn't be big-headed.
I think possibly the greatest single factor in how well I'm playing at the moment is that I'm settled into one position now, whereas before, since Terry Venables left the club, various managers have tried me in different positions and it hasn't quite come off for me. And for the first time in a long while, I'm in a settled position.
But I wonder how much the fact that when you were 17, you had an awful lot of publicity about you. It was a television documentary. Everyone said you were the best black player in the country. And that must have been difficult to live up to.
Yes, I think a lot of that was propaganda on, firstly, Malcolm Allison's part into maybe making me believe in myself a little bit more, because when I first came to Crystal Palace as a 14-year-old, I was very introvert. I didn't mix too well, and I was like a quiet, shy lad, and maybe Malcolm said a few things to the press, and I used to pick papers. I was like, I'm like anyone else. I used to pick the paper up as a kid and believe what was written about me, and I used to think, well, hold on here, I might be a better player than I give myself credit for, and that was just maybe a confidence booster.
Did you feel responsible, though, for other blacks that you were carrying a bit of a banner?
I did. I think when I first broke into the game, I was just one of the first starting out. I mean, your Clyde Best and Addy Coker, they was the original. They broke the sort of frontier, so to speak, and along with myself and the Laurie Cunninghams and the Bob Hazels, we was the sort of second, not generation, the second lot, if you like to call it like that make managers look at us as players and not the colour of our skin.
Tell us about the cup match against West Ham. It would mean a lot to you, a victory here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we heard the draw, the players, I mean, there was a great big screech in the dressing room. You know, they were delighted it was West Ham. And I thought, well, why? You know, West Ham had a hell of a good season. They're third in the first division up until last week. Why did they want them? And I think the thing that generated through our players is that West Ham are a good footballing team. And if anybody plays football against us, that gives us a chance of playing football against them. It
is a big tie. It's a big tie for the club, and it's a big tie for me personally, because I'm from the East End of London, and West Ham is my local club, and I used to go to watch them whenever I could.
And he loves the big stage. He's a Tom Jones, I suppose, of show business. You know, if you put him on a big stage, he'll perform. If you put him on a small stage, he's got to think about it.
Saw you flying by, flash of turquoise blue, I just had to try to keep your life new. My bird of paradise, sweet bird of paradise. Wish that I could fly. I'd be beside you now, but I could only sigh.
Vince Hilaire back on the big stage. Andy McCulloch is Palace's only doubt, but he hopes to be fit to face a West Ham side who looks certain to recall Billy Bonds.
West Ham, all in white, had by far the better of the first 20 minutes, and the former Palace striker Dave Swindlehurst went close after Brooking and Pike had created the opening. But it was the second division side, Palace, who took the lead after 27 minutes with their first dangerous attack. The cross came from Mabbott, and Giles had 2 attempts before McCulloch forced it in for a 1-0 lead. Just before half-time, West Ham should have equalised. Barnes created the chance, and Swindlehurst had Wood at full stretch. It looked all over for West Ham when the older firm of Lampard and Brooking combined to set up the equaliser. It was a goal much like the first, taking 3 attempts before Swindlehurst beat Wood. In the last minutes, Vince Hilaire had a difficult chance to take Palace into the 5th round, but Park saved to ensure the replay on Tuesday.